The assurance is that the election will go on smoothly. Security is provided for. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing for anybody to worry about. Now, remember that the last election, which was cancelled, didn't have the police participate, but then it was alleged to be one of the most peaceful elections that we've had in the state in a long time, regardless of the presence of security personnel. Now, you would only expect that with the police involved, this one would be even much more peaceful. That's the hope, I'm pretty sure, for every person who is going to participate. And then the next question is whether you are going out to vote tomorrow. Yes. Are you going out to vote tomorrow? Do you have your PVC ready? Are we going to see you at the polling unit? As for Nigerian Info, of course, we are going to go around some of the polling units and across the several local government areas of the state and see things for ourselves. So we just might walk into you while you are doing what you're doing at your polling units. But the question now is whether you are. The sole administrator has said work for every government parastatal government agency closes at 12 today to give civil servants enough time to prepare themselves and travel for the elections tomorrow. Well, civil servants have also said, where's the money we are going to use for that trip? As it stands, we are yet to receive salaries. So let's just say perhaps that might come today. I'm pretty sure before the sole administrator said that he should have it in the back of his mind already. And that would mean before the day runs out, perhaps there's civil servants will be getting their alert before 12, so that as soon as they leave and get home, they can begin to prepare and begin to make the trip that they need to make. But that said, at the communities, there's also concerns in the communities. Some people have looked at RISIEC, the use of BVAS and every other thing that comes. If you remember the governorship election at the time, there was a lot of issues with BVAS, card reader. It was a problem. Are we going to experience any of those now? Has all of these things been taken care of? That's a big question. RISIEC has said that everybody should be calm. They are confident to deliver a transparent, fair, and credible election. But the fear of voter apathy has been a huge worry. Some people think that it's a waste of time to go out and vote. There are others, especially party faithfuls, who are definitely going to come out to vote. But then this question would be for those people who are not members of political parties, because they have different opinions about this election. The divide is very clear. There are those that think that the election is already done with. There are those that are not happy with the method and selection of candidates and the emergence of certain candidates. There are those that think that, oh, whoever is there, they've already settled it. And there are those that just think that, well, generally, from the Nigerian perspective, elections don't work in this country. They already know what they are doing. In the midst of all of these diverse views and opinions, from those that are not political party members, and even maybe some members of some political parties, are you coming out to vote tomorrow? Are you ready for the election? That's what we want to find out on the show this morning. 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0002. 0817. You can also call 081923 0007. Do you have your PVC ready? And please let me also say this: when you call, don't tell us who you want to vote for. We don't want to know. That's not our business. That's up to you. We don't want to know who you are voting for or who you will not vote for. That's your business. But what we want to know is whether you are ready to participate in the election. Darlington Ogbuku on Facebook says, I destroyed my PVC after the 2023 election. For now, I'm no longer a Nigerian. You are. Just because you destroyed your PVC doesn't mean you stop being a Nigerian, except you want to nationalize somewhere else, but still by birth you would remain a Nigerian. So that's a very difficult one. But then, are we ready for the elections? That's the big question. 0817 923 0007. 0817-923-0002. Good morning, Nigeria Info. Civil servants are encouraged to travel early and go prepare for the elections tomorrow. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, Mr. Femi, I claim here in your team 100% ready for this election. As I told you before, that apart from even voting, I am also working for my party, which I have told you before that they made me a party agent. It's an easy thing to be a party agent in my own great party. So as you have said earlier, about the police compared to the last election, what are they calling national compared to the last election, what are they calling national national complete whatever something. In your section said it, they did not participate in the last election because it was not fair and fair. In your time, so even some civil rights organizations have said it also. So to me, tomorrow will be a success. Everybody should come and vote. And this time, I would like people to come to Mokuta, so you see me wearing my card proudly. I'm working.
No problem, Chima. Thank you very much. I think with regards to the presence of the police, we also know that I don't think it is mandated constitution of the police. We also know that I don't think it is mandated constitutionally that the police must be available to provide security for every election. I don't think you even need the police for an election. I might be wrong, but for the best of them, I think you need that. But then in Nigeria, I think for certain reasons, that culture became a thing, and that's where we are now. So, Patrick Inechie, good morning. We lost the call from Patrick. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. This person says, Ifiemi, good morning, my brother. I have my PVC, but I won't bother to go out and vote because for me, the results are already very clear at Ada George, elder statesman. This person says, Andrew, going out to vote for who? Are there any candidates for us to make our choices from? It's just one party, so the PDAPC should just do their thing. Ifiemi Chukwumodo, you sent that message in. The group advocating for peaceful local government polls should have known that the real people causing violence during elections are the ones campaigning now because it favors them. If it was the other way around, you would have been hearing violence here and there. Good morning. I'm not going to participate in tomorrow's election because Rivers State for me is at war with the state of emergency declared. Tomorrow's election is illegal and undemocratic. Tomorrow's election will set a bad precedent for our democracy. Adonis Opwene from Port Harcourt, you sent in that one. Good morning, Nigeria Info. All right, we lost that call too. What's happening with the phone lines? 0817-923-0002. You can also call 0817-923-0007 or 0817-923-0003. Iprinye in Port Harcourt says, I'm 100% ready to witness and vote for tomorrow's election. It's going to be the most peaceful and credible election in Rivers State. Patrick Inechie, good morning.
Yeah, Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Patrick.
Yes. I am very, very prepared for tomorrow's election. Both I and my family and we are prepared for tomorrow's election. I have given my PVC where I will not find it through. We are very, very prepared. And we are happy that we're going to vote tomorrow because the APC candidate for chairmanship in the Che local government is a candidate that all the Che people are very, very happy to have. So we can't wait tomorrow to vote him in tomorrow. Honorable Chairman Joko is the man we are going to vote tomorrow with happiness. So thank you very much. I'm at the party and calling from my friend.
All right, Obed from Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
All right, go on, Obed.
Andrew, I think I will tell reversible.
All right. Just to restate, I think before we started, we had told you we don't want to know who you're voting for, and we will not encourage you to tell us which candidate you are supporting, or which candidate you want to support, or which candidate you and your people, or whoever is voting for. That goes to the last caller trying to talk about who you are supporting. That's not what we want to hear. I would encourage you not to please bring that on if you get the opportunity to get on the show. So please, let's be very careful with our choices. And if you are contributing, if you want to participate in the election, simply say yes, you're going out, you're going to vote, you're going to be part of it, and that's all we need to know. We don't want to know who you are voting for, or why you are voting for them, or which party you are voting for. That's not what we want to know. So please, let's take note and ensure that we stick with it. I said that right before I started, that we don't want to know who you are voting for. So please, let's not make this very easy for all of us, so we enjoy the conversation this morning. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. So you can send us WhatsApp messages. You can also get on Facebook. We are live at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the Facebook handle, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So do well to use the WhatsApp handle. Get on WhatsApp, join the conversation, and drop your comments. We'll be taking more comments on WhatsApp and more messages on Facebook. So please send the messages in. Again, the Facebook number 0809-030-6416. This one says the issue of the PDAPC is too confusing for me to understand. Since I was born, I haven't seen this type of combination in one election. Jazz. Good morning, Andrew. What I think is that there's no election tomorrow. In my opinion, they've already selected who would emerge, and decisions have been made. Okay, this one says, good morning. Maintain law and order. That is the mandate given to the sole administrator, and I'm very sure it is unconstitutional to conduct an election in a state of emergency situation. And a party government be this. Thanks, Victor from Oyigbo. You sent that message in. This one says, no reverse person who understands what democracy means and means well for this state will indulge in the illegality. Our constitution has no provision for sole administrator, not to talk of a sole administrator conducting an election. It's an illegality, and Rivers people should not encourage it. Even the whole country should stand up against it, because if it works here, it means it will be emulated in other states. So I will not participate. This is from Fine Mind. You sent that message in. This one says, I am also not participating in tomorrow's election because it is not constitutional. The police, I didn't get the last. Ezekiel Azaya, the last part of your message is not really clear about the police. So if you can, please send it again. And then this one says, elections for me, the election already is not fair. I met with someone bragging about local government elections being seeded. He said the Lion himself has been around for 4 days now, and they have concluded everything. Core members are going to be there for formalities. They will be paid, but I think it's all for formalities. Chima. Well, unfortunately, Chima. RISEC, it's an election, and RISEC is conducted, and people are going to come out to vote whether you want to participate or not. And that's it. You might not be happy with the process, but unfortunately, it is an election. It's been funded and conducted by RISEC. After the commercial, we'll come back. We'll take more of your messages and some phone calls. So please do stay with us. Victor from Rumakrushi would have to pause now. Call back after the break. Good morning.
Nigeria Info. Right
Good morning. So yes, we continue with the conversation. Like we said before the commercial, we're not asking you, please, we don't need you in any way, shape or form to tell us who you are voting for, which party you want to vote for. The question is very simple, whether you are ready to participate in the election. Now, this is because building up to this time, a lot of people have already hinted that they just might not participate. There are others that feel like they will. There are some that think that they will not, and everybody gave reasons why. Now, because for some of us, regardless of the rules we've put in place, you still decide to call and tell us who you want to vote and who you're supporting. We just wouldn't be taking any more calls. We'll just take your messages. So please, if you want to make your contributions, use the WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Please bear with us so we can organize this properly. For those of us that, how do they say it? We know the agree word. So just send messages to us on WhatsApp. Or do you want better? Get on Facebook. Yes, so on Facebook, you can watch and listen to us at the same time. And then you can drop your comments there real time. We'll take those comments. For those who do not have the Facebook handle, it's simple on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the handle on Facebook. So get on Facebook. Drop those messages and I'll be taking them as well. So Facebook and WhatsApp. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On WhatsApp, the number is 0809-030-6416. It's a countdown to the elections. Are you going to participate in the election tomorrow? That is the question. Before the break, we had quite a number of people who say they will not and they're not interested. A few people have also said that they are ready and are going to be a part of the elections. Well, let's take some of the comments here. Prince Emmanuel Braid says it's really shameful that one would always want to force, their politicians would want to force their desires on the people. That for me is not democracy. And I don't say this as an election. It is just a selection process. At the end of the day, we'll find out. Samson Oji says, I would have loved to participate, but the chairmanship and councillors did not come to our area to campaign. So I don't know them, and I don't know what their plans are for the people in Diop, especially Mile 1, Mile 2, and Mile 3. They did not come to the markets. Isaac Titito says, we are ready and we will participate in election. Facebook coming. We'll be taking as much as we can. Meanwhile, on WhatsApp, this one says, I'm going to vote to Erema community. Susie from Erema sent that messaging. Good morning. Ambition from Omuma says, I think politics has become a place where no man can stand for the truth. A sole administrator conducting elections, for me, it's unconstitutional. Let us try to respect the constitution no matter who is in power. This one says, how can I vote when the sole administrator who should have led the voting process cannot vote in an election he is in? Weike Odinaka. Matthew Sam Jr. on Facebook says, Andrew, I am not going to be part of this election. In my opinion, it is illegal. La Dennis Fitoka says, I will not participate because I have not been paid. And it is obvious that there is no contest, although I pray for a non-violent election. You've not been paid. I think you're referring to your salary as a civil servant, Dennis. I guess that's what you're talking about. This one says, is any government other than one aspirant? Now, that's a great question to ask. If there is any local government that has more than one aspirant, yes, there should be, because we only have 2 or 3 political parties not participating. So that would simply mean that there are other political parties that are participating. Now, all the other political parties, so far, all the political parties did not field candidates in all the local government areas. And that's why in some local government areas, you have perhaps only one political party with a candidate. In others, you have more than one. That's because all the parties did not field candidates in all the local government areas, which used to be the traditional way. So traditionally, you would have had Party A have its candidates for councillorship for local government. Party B would also have its candidates for councillorship and local government. And so it will go on across the 23 local government areas. This time, it's quite different. Jackson from Iba, I hope that answers you because you're the one asking that question. Even if the governor is the one conducting the local government election, I will still not participate because local government elections has always been a selection thing. So tomorrow, I will still not vote. Wasu from Rumukbarali sent that message in. This one says, Ifiemi, good morning. Maureen Brown from LMA. I'm not coming out to vote. This election is illegal because we are in a state of emergency, she says. I will participate in the election and I will vote. It is my civic responsibility. Chief Roland Amaule JP. Amaule, you sent in that one. The WhatsApp number still is 0809 0306416. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Zephaniah John says, let elections hold so that our brothers working in the council will not suffer for not being paid. But it is unfair conducting elections under a sole administrator. That's Zephaniah John. We are set to vote for our candidates. Mwala Kinsley sent in that one from Echie. I would never participate in an election in this country until I see a politician who is worthy of my vote. Mr. Discreet is what you call. You say Discreet, that's your name? Mr. Happy, Arigbe Happy. I think you are just saying you've not seen any politician worthy of your vote. So it simply means you've never voted in an election in this country. If there were any good, Rivers State and Nigeria at large would not be in the predicament that it is now. Okay, Mr. Happy, thank you. This one says, good morning, Patrick Amadi from Afara Eche. I'm very happy and I'm ready to vote in tomorrow's election. Tomorrow's election is going to be the most peaceful one in the history of the state. Okay, let's wait and see. Time will tell. Many allege that the one conducted last year, which was later cancelled, was the most peaceful, regardless of the fact that we didn't have the presence of the police participating in that election. And so if we look at that standard, despite the cancellation of it, people would expect that this process, termed to be legal by many, be more peaceful than the one we had last year that was cancelled, because now we have the police involved. And that's, for many people, a soothing news. Why are we upholding illegality so that Michelle can conduct an election, no go general justice? Well, a lot of people are in court because of this. And I can tell you for free that it wouldn't end even after the election. There are people who are going to continue to push until the court says something decisive about this. But in the meantime, the election is going to hold. At least for now, it looks that way. It seems that way. It's almost, there's nothing that's come out of anywhere that suggests that this election would not hold tomorrow. We already have everybody putting final touches. Risiek has come out to say all that it needed to say. The police have also come out to say what it should say. And so from all indications, we are heading into this election tomorrow. Whether it's legal or not, well, for those who have taken that matter to court, would have to wait and hear what the court has to say about the situation. But as at right now, clearly, we're going to have an election tomorrow. Thank God Ability says, we already know the winner of this election they are conducting. And that is my worry. Thank God Ability. Well, maybe you already know the winner. But one way to know the winner is when RISEC announces the result. And that's the only way, I'm sure, to know a winner. The person that's announced by RISEC, officially announced, that's who will be seen as winner of the election, at least according to the provisions of the laws that govern it, and even as right. So while we wait on that one, you have to tell us how you found out your own before the election. I'm not going to vote. Business and illegality produced illegality. This is from eBeams. A lot of people saying they are not going to vote. Andrew, INEC didn't conduct by-election in Rivers State, and it was because of the state of emergency. Ugu Justice is asked, my friend Justice, I wish I worked with INEC. Maybe I would have understood what to say to you. Unfortunately, I don't. But RISEC has also clarified the grounds on which it is conducting this election. Yes, there are those in court that are still, contesting the position of RISIEC and even the idea of conducting an election under the sole administrator in an emergency situation. But here we are. So far, so good. There's nothing that has come out of the court. Like I've said, if there are dissenting voices, which they are, the court is the one place we have to go to sort that out. And if up until this moment the court has said nothing, or the matter is still going on, they say the wheel of justice grinds slow now, but it would definitely come to a halt. So I'm pretty sure everything would be going on until when something comes out of the court. If the court, whatever it says, is what then would be done. Ifiemi Andrew says, Andrew, from the comments so far, you should know the outcome of this election. Just expect voter apathy. Ifiemi Andrew. Is the comment so far anything to go by? Let's not forget that we have members of political parties who are, regardless of whether you are saying it's legal, illegal, whether you are saying, oh, it's a sole administrator. By the way, it is not the sole administrator that's conducting the election, it is RISIEC. Well, you might argue that the funding would have to come from him, but RISIEC is conducting the election. So you might have all the arguments that you have. A lot of people would say they are not participating, but there are also going to be plenty of people that would, because the political parties have members. And they have a good number of people who are political party members in Rivers State. And all of those guys would come out and vote for who their party, which is usually how the thing is done in this part of the world. It is whoever the party says, that's what everybody stands for, and that's who everybody supports. It's not, we don't run a system, unfortunately, where regardless of whether you're in a party, you can wear your thinking cap and look at whether this is what is right or what is wrong. It is basically, I belong to this party, and this is our candidate, and this is who everybody has picked. Regardless of whether he meets it or not, I'm voting for that person. We're going to have those kind of people, and we have a lot of them already in the political parties. And these guys, whether you agree or not, there are even those ones that are accused of running anti-party from other political parties that are, a bromance. I will still come and vote. So you would say maybe the people that so far have been, I don't know, because I don't know whether they belong to political parties, but the people who are already saying that they are not going to be part of it, if we check, maybe they are the ones that don't belong to any political parties. They are just the everyday Rivers people who are taking note of the political events in the state and trying to follow what is happening in the political space. Those are the ones that are saying, well, from what we are seeing, we are not going to be part of this election. And what we should know is whether it is two people that come out to vote in that election at a polling unit in any of the wards, they will count the two. They will count the two. And whoever those two people vote for would be the winner of the election. That's just what it is. Yes, you might question whether you have options, which is also the worry of a lot of people. Do we have options? Do we have options? If it is an election, then I should be able to have several candidates vying for one position so I can make a choice. Now, is that the case? It doesn't look like I can make a choice. And that's why some people say they're not voting, because they don't think that they can make a choice. They're thinking it's almost stylishly forcing everybody to vote for one person in each of these offices that they are running for. And for them, they're not comfortable with that. So that argument also makes sense. But however it is, the political parties have done what political parties do and have produced candidates. And here we are. No political party stopped the other one from not bringing candidates. So you cannot say, oh, it is only one party or the party B that brought candidates. Nobody held the hand of any other party to say, you don't bring candidates. Kenny Charles Emmanuel on Facebook says, I'm going to cast my vote tomorrow. Victor Marcus says, good morning, everyone. We should be able to differentiate between election and selection. For me, what is happening tomorrow is nothing short of selection. And I think it's unnecessary to bother myself over what already have been planned and written. It's no democracy or rule of law in the state at the moment. And that's what pains me the most, is how Rivers men and women are quiet, including our youths. Victor Marcus, you sent that one in on Facebook. On WhatsApp, Good morning, Andrew. I will never be involved in this election. That election is illegal and that makes it corrupt. I will not vote even though they point a gun at me. However, I don't belong to any political party. I always vote who I think is good. But for this one, I will not vote. Promise. You sent this message in. The WhatsApp number still is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. That is the WhatsApp number. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. In case you missed it, on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the Facebook handle. Get on there, like the page. Don't forget to click on the share button and then drop your comments on the live stream. We'll take as much as we can. Back to WhatsApp now. This person there, Blessed Ola, says, good morning. Conduct of local government election in Rivers State at the moment is illegal, and that is because of the emergency rule. No need voting. The same persons who are coming out are the same persons that will be announced as winners. Those voting are not voting for benefit of the state, but are voting for selfish interest. Helen from Stadium Road, you sent that message in. Good morning. Local government election conducted last was the most peaceful one in Rivers State. Okay, you mean conducted last year? There's nothing to allege. An election where the people got involved, the young and the old came out for the election. Now that, for me, is true democracy. Didi from Port Harcourt, that message came in from you. Someone says, for me, a local government has only one aspirant. I think you mean one candidate. My going out to vote is a waste of time. Because his own vote is enough to get him a win. I'll be in my shop tomorrow to look for my daily bread. Jackson from Iba. Well, this is also supposed to be from 12 p.m. So, Jackson, how are you going to your shop? There will be restriction of movement. This election will never stand. This message is coming from Bet. It says the election will never stand. Time will tell. Thank God ability. Tomorrow's local government election is illegal. Thank God ability. Atwebu, you sent that one in. And we call Ikisi says it is important to note that INEC chairman has publicly stated that he cannot conduct a by-election in Rivers State due to the prevailing security situation, which amounts to a state of emergency, which amounted, I wanted to say. Again, against this backdrop, any attempt to conduct a local government election under such condition raises serious concerns of legality and credibility. It also creates doubts about transparency, since the outcomes appear predetermined even before the process begins. My humble advice is that we should all insist on due process and respect for the law. An election must be free, fair, and credible. Otherwise, it loses the very essence of democracy. For peace and legitimacy, let proper procedures be followed so that the people's mandate is not compromised. This one says, Ifiemi, good morning. God bless you and bless your program. Okay, thank you very much for your message. But ultimately, one thing that's very important is we all should eschew violence. We don't want any fightings or any shootings or electoral malpractice. We don't want any of those. We don't want to hear that, in so place, boys came out and did this, or women came out and did that. We don't want to hear that. Everybody go about your business if you are. I would encourage everybody to participate in the election. But if you choose not to, okay, fine. But then please, let's make sure we don't constitute nuisance in any way, shape, or form. For those who are participating, make sure you do so in an orderly manner. Go cast your vote. If you want to wait around and see the votes being counted, do so in an orderly manner. Blessed Allah says the results of tomorrow for me are already out. It's tomorrow they will do the announcement. Well, we don't know. All we know is an election holds tomorrow and people are going to vote. And after the vote, we'll find out the winner. So let's please, again, do so peacefully. My name is Ifiemi Andrew, and good morning to all of you.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.